morning. It's 5 a.m. So you can't see it, but off in this direction is Sakurajima, which is Japan's largest volcano. Now it erupts fairly often, pretty much on the daily, but there was a fairly large eruption, fairly large visible eruption there the night before last, where lava came flying out the top and got thrown down across the volcano. It's been on the news pretty much everywhere. And that is where I live. But what you can see is the mountains over here, and they are gorgeous this morning. Look at this. Look at this. It is currently 5 o'clock in the morning out here in the prefecture of Kagoshima. And I want to give a huge thanks to Tim for kicking off these super chats today for coffee. Definitely gonna have to grab some coffee today. How is everybody doing? So right now we are actually picking up exactly where we left off on our last stream. See, our last stream, the stream of darkness, we came down this road here, but it was so dark that you couldn't see any of it. And then we continued up to about this area here, which is where we wrapped up the stream. Well, today, as the sun comes up over the mountains, we are gonna do some exploring and continue getting to know a little bit more about this area. I like starting and ending the day here at the river whenever I can, and it's nice and cool this morning. And the Inky is keeping that super chat ball rolling by saying, morning coffee funds for Storm and Norman, love from Seattle. Thank you so much. We have a train coming here off in the background. Let's just enjoy that for a second. Just something about trains rolling through the countryside of Japan that you can't help but absolutely love. So, Sakurajima, which again, for some reason this morning has chosen to be completely invisible. It is right there. It is a big, beautiful mountain of a volcano. Did have an eruption the other day. Yes, I am all right. It's a very, very common occurrence. In fact, last year I did a video called something like what it's like to live on Japan's most active volcano, and that video showcased the lives of the people who live there. Several thousand people live on the volcano, and it was actually me meeting my friend Mitch that led to me wanting to come out. And oh, that was red, dude. It's still orange. You're okay. You're okay. Under Japanese quiet rules, if it's been red for less than 3 seconds, you're usually good to go through. I don't recommend it, by the way. It's just what a lot of people do, especially taxi drivers. So it was in meeting Mitch, and Mitch telling me that like school kids had to wear helmets on the way to school, and people walked around with umbrellas to protect themselves from the ash and everything. It really fascinated me. I was like, this is incredible. I'm gonna have to go and check out Sakurajima at some point. And ended up going down and living on Sakurajima for a week. I almost said a year. I did not live on the volcano for a year. Ended up living on Sakurajima for a week to experience the area and meet its people. So, and here I am a year later, living in Kagoshima with a view of Sakurajima from my balcony. Now, the weird thing about this area in the morning. I often do the super early morning live streams because they're quiet. There's no people around. We get to just enjoy the countryside or the city or whatever it is entirely to ourselves. But this area is weirdly busy in the morning, especially down near the river. There is, I guess this is the hangout for everybody in the morning. I run into friends, I run into fellow students, everything down here by the river pretty much every single morning. It can get a little busy here, but we are pre-sunrise, so it's still fairly quiet. We're also going to be jumping in and exploring some of the back streets this morning. But if you haven't already, give that like button some love. Let's see if we can't push it to the next milestone. And I want to give a huge thank you to Anthony for keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying for coffee or whatever you want. I'm not your boss. I appreciate that. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see this. Oh, you can't really see it. Look at the moon. Can you see that? It is the most sliver of a crescent moon. I don't know how well the phone's camera is gonna pick that up, but it is the most sliver of a crescent moon ever. And Nina Therese, I hope I'm saying that right, sent in a super sticker as well. Nina, thank you so much for that. And are there any campgrounds close by? That's a pretty good question. There are a couple, not a ton, but there are a couple. I have yet to go camping down here, so camping down here is something that I want to do sooner rather than later. Well, so it looks like from the reactions that it was actually able to pick up the moon. Okay, glad. So from today, we have a very, very exciting turn of events down here in the Kagoshima area. You see, from today, it is rain every day, every single day. So this might be my last chance for this week to kind of show off the area. So I figured we would take a walk this morning and do that, explore along the river here, and then get in and explore. I always walk down the opposite way. You see, the ocean and I guess Kagoshima Bay or Kinkowam is down that way. I always walk that way. I never walk this way. Look at this though. Maybe there's a reason I never walk this way. I guess we're going to find out if this way is walkable. Everything's walkable if you try hard enough. Wow. We might have to go around, guys. What do we got here? That's just water. And of course, a spider web. Lovely. Okay, we're gonna walk around. And there's the giant semiconductor plant we walked by the other day with the massive parking lot. There we go. And Crow in there keeping that super chat ball rolling by saying, showing some love for the moon. Well, thank you. I'm over the moon. Norm is so dedicated to inform us of every square inch of Japan. We appreciate you. I've said it before, but right now, especially with a lot of people wanting to be here and being unable to come into the country, I wanted to be able to show as much of Japan as possible. It's one of the reasons why I'm so happy that so many smaller streamers and creators have started streaming and sharing Japan as much as they have in recent months. And I guess over the past year, there's been a huge uptick in creators doing live streams and sharing Japan, and that puts a huge smile on my face because it gives everyone so many options to come out and enjoy everywhere. People are streaming from all over the place and it is spectacular. So we get another little train over here. Can't zoom into her. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It disappeared behind the building. There we go. Oh, that is not a train. That is a truck. I caught the corner of my eye and I was convinced it was a train. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a truck. Train on the water, boat on the tracks. So we are actually going to be heading back to Tokyo in a couple weeks. And from Tokyo, we're going to be doing an entire set of live streams as well. It's been a while since I've had a chance to do that. And Catherine in here, keeping the super chat ball rolling with a beautiful super chat there. Catherine, thank you so much for your kindness in that. It was supposed to be a completely clear morning, but look how misty and foggy the mountains are. Look at that one lone tree just hanging out there, looking beautiful. Seriously. We might get rained on. That'll be an experience all of its own. I wouldn't mind getting rained on. It's usually really, really humid, or like even. But today I feel like this morning was just made for live streaming because there is no humidity. It is just calm and beautiful. The air is cool right now. My watch is telling me that it is about 24 degrees. And there's a question in here that I want to address because it is a beautiful question. And it's one that I think we've talked about a few times, but it's always good to give an updated answer. So, asking me, do I prefer rural Japan, the countryside, or do I prefer Tokyo? And can anybody guess what the answer is? Because look at this. Look at that. It's just such a beautiful space to live in. Okay, we're gonna walk down this little street. Dun, 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 dun. We're gonna walk down. How do I walk properly? Don't stop jumping between lenses. We're gonna walk down this street here. I would like to get down here, but I feel like we're probably not going to. Let's start by walking down this way. I've never been down this way. I will get back to that question in a second. I'm going to do as we often do on the podcast, and I'm gonna sidebar here. Oh, is that the walking path? Look at that. Okay. That's the walking path right there. We're gonna go this way for now though. So distracted this morning. Zero focus whatsoever. So, one of the reasons that I really want to bring you guys out and do these live streams is because despite me living out here in the countryside in rural Japan now for some time, I haven't really had the chance to explore where I live. And that is exactly what we're doing through these streams. We're exploring the city of Kirishima where I'm living and getting to know it a little bit better. Now, as we walk through here, I'm going to be bringing my voice down a bit because obviously houses and whatnot, ooh, they have their own little rose garden. I'm going to be bringing my voice down a little bit as we walk through this area, but this gives me a chance to explore this area and experience it for the first time along with you guys. And this coming weekend, it should be this coming weekend, I actually put together a video of me exploring all of the coolest spots or hidden spots, trying to find hidden spots around this area. I went out for an entire day, explored and tried to find as many things in the area as I possibly could, and we had quite the great day. So that is going to be coming up soon as well. And I noticed another very kind super chat in there from JCM. Good morning, man. How you doing? I hope you're doing good. Thank you so much for the kindness all the time. Say good morning, Norm. Some more for the breakfast. Well, you know what? The breakfast fund is growing. Gonna have to grab ourselves a nice breakfast this morning after the walk. Let's keep going past here. Ohayou gozaimasu. Ohayou gozaimasu. And, ladies and gentlemen, it is, what time are we looking at? 5:22 in the morning, and we have gotten Nihongo Jozud. There's the highlight of the stream right there. 5:22 in the morning, Nihongo Jozu. Look at this place. I think it's light enough out that we can see the 0.5 camera. Yeah, it is. Look at this. And Pied Piper in there. Look at this beautiful, like having your own little garden and land and whatnot. Just gorgeous. And Pied Piper keeping the super warm. I really appreciate the late night, early morning streams. It shows a different side of Japan that we don't get to see. Someone has a rooster. Someone has a rooster that literally just went cock-a-doodle-doo. What do roosters say in your country? Are they cuckoo, kachoo, cock-a-doodle-doo? What do they say? First Nihongo Jozu of the day. Yep. Ah, okay. I think this is just train tracks. Trains are gonna pass right over here. Let's take a quick peek under. You guys hear that? I'm not making it up. There's a rooster somewhere. And Roads I Roam in here, keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying, can't wait to explore Japan for myself. Thank you for entertaining me until then. And we have a nice little doggo over here. Okay, all right. You're good, you're good. Good morning, doggo. All right. We'll go this way. The doggo was not as happy to see us as we were to see him. Let's take a step up here and take a look at the train tracks. And I think I spoke too soon, talking about how nice and cool the weather was, because it's already starting to get hotter. And the color 12 is kind enough to often watch my routes for me. So yeah, it looks like this is the main line right here. Runs right up to people's property as well, so I don't want to go any further than this. Thought this was a road. Seems like it's actually just somebody's driveway, so we'll steer clear of it. But let's continue on down this way. So getting back to what I was saying about Tokyo versus living in the countryside. They both have their charms. And it's very difficult to say that I prefer either one. Now, it feels like a non-answer, so I will elaborate. Tokyo gives me two big things that I really love. Number one, it gives me access to anywhere really easily and really quickly. So if I want to go out and do something, if I want to go out and shoot a video, if I want to travel somewhere, it enables me to do that. And this is just a space between people's houses, but you know I am so tempted to go down there. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm pretty sure it would freak people out super early in the morning, me walking through there, we would go through, let's walk down this way. But the second thing that Tokyo gives me that I have a huge appreciation for is the juxtaposition. Tokyo gives me a juxtaposition against the countryside. Wow. Tokyo gives me a juxtaposition against the countryside that, okay, I feel like we're getting closer and closer to the rooster because I cannot finish a single sentence. Enables me to appreciate other parts of Japan even more. Oh yeah, the roosters are definitely over here. And look at this. Okay. So we have found the source of the cock-a-doodle-doo. It reminds me when I was a kid, my grandmother gave me a Frosted Flakes alarm clock that sounded like a rooster. Okay. Interestingly enough, it says that this space right here is a wildlife protection area. Kagoshima Prefecture. Mind you, so is Sakurajima, and we don't really see a ton of wildlife on Sakurajima. So, I wonder how much we'll see out here. Keeping walking. It is okay. So we're at like 5:28. Sunrise is supposed to be somewhere around 5:30, but at the same time we are surrounded by mountains, so you can easily add, depending on the height of the mountain where the sun's coming up, anywhere from 5 to 20-30 minutes on sunrise and actually seeing the sun. But between Tokyo and countryside, finally finishing my thought, between Tokyo and countryside, I love having the opportunity to be able to spend time in both, simply because Tokyo gives me this beautiful juxtaposition and much more of an appreciation for the countryside. And the more I travel the countryside, the more I am no longer immune to Tokyo and can actually appreciate Tokyo. When you live in Tokyo all the time, it becomes this normal place. It kind of loses its impact. When you first come to Tokyo and you see it for the very first time ever, Tokyo has this visual impact. Nice space. And the unfortunate thing about spending a long time in Tokyo is that it loses that impact over time. You get used to it. You get comfortable with it. And when that happens, you stop appreciating it at the level that you usually do. And so being able to spend time in the countryside enables me to have more of appreciation for that. And this river here is called the Amorigawa. And it is the, well, let's take a look at the kanji. So this is literally the heavens are raining river. So heavens are raining river, the Amorigawa. I covered that in, I think, one of my flight videos, but it's a fairly common place to come and hang out and enjoy a walk along the river. We, of course, have a horse. So, scrolling back here, I don't want to miss any of this. First off, I want to give a huge love to everybody who just dropped in super chats, and I'm going to go through them one by one as we walk down here and explore this beautiful space. Nasha Prod in there saying snozzages. Thank you. The schnozberries taste like schnozberries. Nash, thank you so much for that. When Nash came out to visit Japan, he was kind enough to bring me a ton of cereal, and that was awesome. I had released back before TOKYOLENS was even at like 50K, I had released pre-50K merch, and I released a bag to match the color of my jacket. And Nash was like, oh, can I get it in white? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was able to have that interaction with, that level of interaction with pretty much everybody. And thanks to that, when Nash showed up in Tokyo and I happened to run into him randomly in Asakusa, he had the bag and I was able to notice him. So Nash, thank you so much for that. Ooh, by the way, I have some announcements today. I don't want to forget. I definitely will forget. If I get too far into the stream and you guys haven't heard any announcements from me, Mod Squad, hit me up and remind me of the announcements. And Goran Raz in here saying, greetings from South Africa. Have an awesome stream. Thank you for the wonderful Japan focused content. Thank you so much for being here for it. I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for the super chat there. And Pedro Luft as well, keeping the super chat ball rolling. Sam, finally moving there next year. Pedro, congratulations. That is so exciting. I'm so happy for you. How long have we been interacting on here? Also, look at all the rooftops. As usual, thanks for streaming for those who couldn't make it there yet. Norm, stay positive, everyone. Thank you. Remember how it said wildlife conservation area? Yeah, definitely just heard something of significant size rustling in these bushes here. There is something in there. So that's an adventure all of its own. And Glitch God Demos. Did I say it right? I hope I said it right. Said for coffee and maybe some morning snacks. Thank you. And hanging out with Otto, always in there with some chicken burger. We'll say chicken burger. That's the word exactly that I was going for, is chicken burger. So, a fun fact about this area that I absolutely love. Let's zoom in again. So if you take a look around here, it looks like this area is surrounded with mountains. But these here aren't actually all mountains. And you might be going, well, if they're not mountains, what are they? They're just giant anthills? They are not. This area around here is surrounded with plateaus. And when you get up above and you see all of this from above, it adds depth to the area and the beauty of it. It almost feels like we're hanging out on planet Namek. And I love that. It is just such a spectacular. Okay, we need to keep walking forward. Keep walking forward. I get stuck in one area forever just checking it out. And I can't stop looking around myself either. We have a beautiful morning here. I haven't had the chance to be out here, so I'm super glad that we can be exploring this together. All right, and keeping going. Also, Josh Woodward, keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying, just wondering what the deal is with you and Charla, bro. LOL. LOL, bro. Should we go into full Norm Sass mode with this one? I feel like we kind of, we'll be nice. Charla and I think we've covered this a couple times in different videos, but a lot of them were really old videos from when the channel started. So it's going to be stuff that a lot of people don't know. Charla and I met each other probably 15 plus years ago. We were both researching for visas and whatnot online. We were both trying to get to, no, it was way more than 15 years ago. No way. We're probably closer to 20 years ago. Charlotte and I were both online on like Japan-based forums trying to get to know each other and trying to get to know how to get to Japan, researching how to get to Japan. And that was how you did it back then. YouTube wasn't a thing and there wasn't a ton of information out there. And so Charla, if you don't know, is a fellow YouTuber and creator here in Japan. In fact, she was one of the first ever like big Japan YouTubers. And long before that, both her and I were trying to get into the country. And I'm gonna get run over by a car, so I'm gonna step off to the side. But we were researching our visa options and whatnot. We were using forums and all that online, and you would leave messages on the forum, and people would follow up. And as we did that, we realized that we were living on opposite sides of Canada. She was from the Vancouver area, I was from the Toronto area, and we both had this similar love for Japan and this determination that no matter what, we were gonna get there. Neither of us knew how we were gonna get here, but we knew that eventually, no matter how long it took, no matter how much work it took us, we were going to get here. And so that is how we met, and we started chatting. I think at the time we were using like MSN Messenger or something like that, and we would keep each other updated on our journeys. Then Charlotte got here. She spent, I think I got here first, and then as I was leaving, Charlotte got here. Yeah, I don't know who got here first. It doesn't matter. We both got here roughly around the same time, give or take, but then one would leave and the other one would show up, and then one would leave and the other one would show up. I mean, we did this back and forth for the longest time. Look at this. Also, the other day, I got a comment asking me if I added the bird sounds in post on a live stream. So that's a thing. And so yeah, fast forward to near 20 years later, here Charlotte and I are still with the same love of Japan, and a love that's so infectious that we love being able to share it with you guys. So that makes me really, really happy. Ooh, more birds. That makes me really, really happy to be able to share with you, seeing how far we've come. Charlotte and I probably didn't actually get to hang out in person until probably close to a decade ago. We just both happened to be in Japan stably for a long enough time that we were finally able to meet up and hang out. And so that is the backstory to, what was it? What's up with you and Charlotte, bro? That's the what's up with me and Charlotte, bro. So thank you for asking. And Mia Hasekawa saying, Norm, can you speak Kagoshima Ben? もう全然話せない。もうわかんない。全く。しかも、鹿児島弁って結構ね、すごいの。There's a gentleman in the documentary that I talked about earlier with the Sakurajima volcano. There was a gentleman in that video who it literally took a team of 15 people to translate his Japanese because he spoke such a difficult Kagoshima Ben dialect. In on birds. Okay, I'm gonna have you guys make the choice. I want you to vote in the comments. Are we going to continue along the river, or are we going to head into the city and check out some of the back streets and explore the city and town itself? Vote in the comments, let me know what you want. But Mia, thank you so much for that beautiful super chat and keeping the ball rolling, and for the question. If I ever start to pick up Kagoshima Ben and I get better at it, I will let you know. But for now, my goal is to study and understand that gentleman on the volcano until I can understand at least half of what he says. And Trinity Studios also keeping the super chat ball rolling, saying, how are you? Really needed a Tokyo Lens adventure. Thank you. Super glad that I could bring one to you. Thank you. And Mizuru saying, can we do a hike together, Norm? I'd love that. Honestly, it was my plan the other day to potentially do a hike for the channel, but then I realized that maybe doing more exploration of the area would be better. Also, if you haven't already, after that Charlotte story, please give the like button some love. Let's see if we can't push our way slowly towards 1,000 likes on this video. It'd be really nice. And ooh, all right. I'm gonna need to ask from the mod squad, what do you guys think is coming up more frequently, city or river. I think city. The initial batch is looking like city. When I scroll through at high speed, yeah, okay. Let's start heading into the city, and then we can zigzag through the river along the way. But where are we gonna go down into the city? That's the question. I know exactly where I am. Oh, wow. That's a whole bunch of cranes. Wow, they're all just perched in the tree there. Okay, I know exactly where I am. And if you've kept up on the videos on TOKYOLENS, you may recognize the spot as well. This is actually part of my drive along to flight school. I make this drive almost every single day. So there's, I don't know, Mod Squad, what did you guys think? Do you think that we saw more city, or do you think we saw more river? Because I'm kind of getting a feeling that we've got, I wouldn't say an equal amount of both. Which way do you guys think it's leaning more towards? Let me know. I've also never really just crossed over and hung out on that side as well. So city, okay. And trust Tim on that one. Most said city, okay. Then city it is. So, I mentioned earlier, as we walk towards the city, that I have some announcements to make. We're gonna announce those in just a moment. Got some exciting stuff coming up. You see, last year we turned the summer into basically a giant event, and I wanted to do that with this year as well. Turn the summer into as much of an event as we can and try to have some fun together. So let's, oh no, it is so equally split. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's just break off to the side here and go down into like the streets of the town for at least just a little bit. Okay. And Monique San Jose in here keeping that super chat ball rolling. Say good morning, Norm. Nice to catch you again. Don't forget to hydrate. Yes, I need to hydrate. I need to, oh, there we go again. Look at such a oh, loner. Such a beautiful group. I feel like half of this live stream has just been me looking at birds, bird stream. And Lotus, thank you so much once again. Lotus keeping that super chat ball rolling by saying thank you for another live stream. It is great. So, okay, here's the plan. So last year, what we did is we did this giant like road trip that was entirely built by the Patreon crew. We did it in several layers. They got to like choose the locations that we went and basically kind of got to choose the route that we did. And then we went and did live streams in each and every one of those locations, or as many as we could, while making a vlog along the way. And that was kind of our way to kick off this new channel of TOKYOLENS Explore. That's right, we've been doing this TOKYOLENS Explore channel now for over a year. That feels like something to celebrate all in its own. Very happy about that. If you're already subscribed, if you've been subscribed since the beginning, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, give the subscribe button some love. What are you holding back for? Just come hang out with us. We love having you here. Also, some old and disassembled cars. Not looking too bad. And so that was our event last year. But as I did that event, I got a lot of questions, both from the Patreon side and from the normal side, which is, how do you find these places? How do you build these adventures? How do you do this? And this year, I kind of want to do something where I teach that. I teach how I find places, how I build adventures, and make it so that the next time that you go somewhere, whether it's in Japan or somewhere else, that you can utilize as many of those techniques as you want to build your own adventure as well. And along with that, I think it'd be fun to kind of add like a motivational edge to it and set it up with prizes. Prizes ranging from, I don't know, maybe a bit of a cash prize, maybe definitely some merch, potentially even like a consultation or a bit of an online hangout with me so that we can help plan your trip or do a bit of a Q&A together and guide you towards figuring out whatever you're hoping to figure out, whether it be your next trip, whether it be, you know, your plans to come to Japan. And I'm thinking of putting all of this together, and I'll probably be releasing it somewhere in August. And it's all gonna go up on the TOKYOLENS Patreon page. All the details will be there, but it gives us a chance to learn some cool stuff together. It gives us a chance to connect a little bit more. And I'm gonna be going through every single person's like attempt at travel plans and everything, and trying to share as much feedback and advice on how I do this as possible. Because one of the things that I have always loved doing in my videos, in my travels, in my trips, everything, is trying to find the hidden little spots, especially in the back streets. And so if I can share with you guys how to do that, along with, it's gonna be a crazy month over on the Patreon side of things. As the Patreon crew already knows, we're gonna be doing an online hangout as well. And there's likely to be an in-person event in Tokyo once again in August. It is going to be quite the month. And if it doesn't happen, if the in-person event doesn't happen in August, it'll definitely happen at least in September. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up about all of that fairly early on. In fact, for the Patreon crew, huge spoiler, the Patreon crew fairly strongly requested a video recently on our Discord, and I didn't think I'd be able to pull it off, but I did pull it off, guys. And I'm gonna be uploading that for you guys today. So for those of you in here who are part of that crew, look forward to a new video coming out tonight that was requested specifically by you guys. So we got a couple people out here. Ohayou gozaimasu. Ohayou gozaimasu. Honestly, we are going to be having so much fun this summer. And then the other goal for all of this, because I know that not everybody can be a part of that, so one of the other goals is, as we do that, I'm going to be planning an adventure here as well, and giving you guys kind of posting updates on the adventure and how I'm building the adventure and everything like that. And then for those who can't be a part of, for example, the Patreon crew, that adventure will happen here on TOKYOLENS Explore and over on TOKYOLENS. We'll get to go out and do all of that together. We'll get to travel and explore all these places, shoot all these videos together. So it is going to be a ton of fun. And the big announcement for that is going to be coming on, I don't know, let's say somewhere in the first week of August. And I'm going to try and make it in a way that as many people as possible can be a part of it. And so that, let's see if we can switch to the wider camera. There we go. Things are bright enough now. We have enough light. It is currently 5:51 in the morning in Kirishima. Also, do you guys notice anything? I got my Apple Watch repaired. I'm so so happy that I got it repaired. The weird backstory to that is my Apple Watch kind of exploded the other day. Yep, again. And it was done just like that. And with that, you got more streets down here. Okay, that car was coming. He's not gonna run us over, we're good. So the other day, my Apple Watch finally bit the dust, and I went to a local book off or hard off favorite store. Went to a local hard off and I got a super cheap replacement watch for something like $70. But the super cheap replacement watch, the battery wouldn't last for more than 4 hours at a time. And I was like, this is absolutely garbage. I hate it. And I was also really sad because this watch was a gift from a bunch of friends back when like the idea of an Apple Watch was just a dream. This is an old Series 1 Apple Watch as well. If you notice, the top left-hand corner is just a bunch of dead pixels. You can't even see anything in it. And I figured, forget it. I went to a local electronics place and I got it repaired. I returned the other watch. They were like, usually we aren't cool with returns, but sure, why not? And they were really nice about it. So another point in the book off, hard off corner. Really great people. Also, they are always awesome with me coming in and recording videos in their shops. Like, they never have a problem with it, and I think it's super awesome of them. So, and that sentence was super awesome of them, but it was just all one big word. And Cookie Ninja in there with a super sticker. Thank you so much. And Cookie Ninja loves the Japan facts, so I'm going to drop in a Japan fact right here. So when you're looking at sunrise time in Japan, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but when you are surrounded by mountains, as you very often are in Japan, you typically need to add anywhere from 5 to an additional 30 minutes for what time actual sunrise is going to be. Because in areas like this, we are surrounded on 3 sides by mountains or plateaus. So you get the exact same thing with an area like Kyoto, for example. I went out and made a documentary when Kyoto emptied out, and I wanted to shoot as much of that video during daylight hours as possible to show people that, you know, this is Kyoto during the day. This is not like Kyoto shot crazy early in the morning or at night or something like that. But because of the time of year that we went, unfortunately, the sun was kind of low in the sky. And so we're really only getting sunlight from something like 10 a.m. until maybe 3:30 p.m. because it would come up over the mountains and then disappear behind the mountains. And it would still be light out for, you know, a couple hours on each side of that. But it made it really difficult because I only had 3 days in Kyoto to shoot that entire video. And that was a massive challenge. So Cookie Ninja, that fact was for you. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Patricia as well in here with a super sticker, keeping that ball rolling. Thank you. And Catherine Alebda in here saying, this whole stream is like walking to the background of a Japanese indie alt music playlist. Makes me miss Beppu so much. Kyushu is just generally a very beautiful place to have the opportunity to walk around. I would say so far, it definitely has some of my favorite streaming locations, just in terms of like how chill and relaxed they are. There's zero pressure walking around here because everything is beautiful. Absolutely everything we see around us is beautiful, and it's only going to get nicer when the sun finally peaks over those mountains, which is what I have been waiting for. So I do want to say, Catherine, thank you so much for that kind super chat. Look at this. And Stephen Lewis in there asks a really nice question as well, saying, hey Norm, are we gonna get any more shamisen videos with you and Kiki? We actually just did a shamisen video on the waters of Tokyo back in spring, and there will definitely be an increase in Kiki related content moving forward. Thank you very much for asking. So, fun fact about Japanese rivers. You'll notice that a lot of rivers in Japan, similar to other countries as well, have these, I guess, lifted walkways on either side. Some of that is natural, but also not all of it is. A lot of these have these lifted walkways, if you will, listed paths on each side to serve as an overflow buffer for the river. And you can see a lot of that in areas like Tokyo. If you go to the Tamagawa, for example, or another one, the Arakawa. The Arakawa flows off of the Sumida River in Tokyo and is honestly a fake river. It's not even a real river. It is made, man-made, to accept overflow in case of heavy rains and flooding and everything like that, so that they can dump everything into that river at several levels and still protect. And the other day, so we've had such heavy rain recently that this isn't bad. I'm surprised like the walkways and whatnot have dried up, but the river level was really high and rushing super fast the other day, just because there had been so much rain for so long. So there we go, one more. There we go. And moving on, CM Watkins, how you doing today? How's it going? CM Watkins in here saying, speaking of tech, here's a little something towards your eventual streaming backpack. I love these streams. Thank you so much for that. One of the goals is to be able to get a proper streaming setup, like a proper backpack. Now that TOKYOLENS Explorer has become like the channel for streaming on the TOKYOLENS side of things. And one of the biggest stresses that I always have is connectivity and whether or not the app is going to work on my phone and because I always just stream these from my phone. And the goal is to get a streaming backpack to allow us to stream a lot more reliably in a wider variety of situations. And that is it's a pricey endeavor. Let's just put it that way. The streaming backpack alone is going to probably run us $1,000, and then we need multiple subscriptions to different Wi-Fi's and data subscriptions and everything like that. So it'll add up. But also the entire goal with TOKYOLENS Explorer is and always has been kind of a revolving thing. So all the super chats that you guys send in go to creating new adventures, go to planning out new things. And so last year, each adventure that we did was subsequently funded by the adventure before it. And that is what I do with every single one of these streams and adventures here on TOKYOLENS Explorer. And so, yeah, I use it for like the car rentals, the highways, the gas and everything, so that we can go out and explore all these places together, and I can continue to take you to new spots. For the month of August, we're gonna have much more of a chance to spend time in Tokyo and do a lot of exploration of some of the back streets, both early morning and late at night. There are plenty of people that stream during the day, so I try to take those slightly more difficult time slots, the ones that are ridiculously early or ridiculously late. That way you guys get a little bit of a different view of the city and the countryside than you would usually get. So CM Watkins, thank you so much for that. Very much appreciated. And Cookie Ninja, once again, keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying, what do you call those? Give me a second, let me. Gozaimasu. Step off to the side. I'm gonna let these kind folks pass right here, and there's a car coming, so that way they don't have to be bothered by me shitty chatting. Okay, what do you call those big Japanese homes with a wall surrounding them? I love them so much. Hopefully we spot one on this walk. Honestly, I don't know if they have a name. I don't know if there's like a specific name for them outside of house. There might be. There honestly might be, but it wouldn't be one of those things that's super commonly known. It would be one of those things that, like, if you know it, you know it, but not everyone is gonna know, if that makes any sense. So, and early in the morning is just almost a different world. That's a comment that I'm reading. And yes, it really, really is. Like, super early morning in Japan. Contrary to popular belief, I am not an early morning person. I am not a huge fan of it. In order to do this live stream and be able to share this energy with you guys, today's live stream kicked off just after 5 a.m. I had to wake up at like 3:50 in the morning in order to have the energy to do this live stream. And if you guys were paying attention, for example, in the Discord or in the chat late last night, I went to bed pretty late. I don't like going to bed early. It just feels so wasteful. And so I myself am not a huge morning person, but being able to come out and do these walks with you guys and explore my area for really the first time is hugely positive to me. So there's two routes that I drive on the daily. One is up into the mountains that way, that takes me into tea fields. We're gonna cross here. And the other one is down this way. But whenever I come out of here, I tend to turn down this road and go up this way. This is basically the stalker's guide to Norm. So if you plan on coming out here and stalking me, trust me, I've made it really easy. Oh my God, I don't know why this is so adorable to me, but let me show you something. Okay, all right, do you guys see it? Look at the little one. He's so tiny. Oh, I don't know why that tickles me so much, but it really, really does. Itty bitty. Absolutely itty bitty. All right. I was saying things and then I got distracted by the little excavators, and now I don't know the things that I was saying. So moving on, super distracted Norm. And Master Didalius, I hope I pronounced that right, is saying, nice to see the stream. Go right on the bridge, please, towards the sun. We might actually loop back around. I do want to hit a convenience store or something for us to grab some coffee, food, or drink along the way. So we may, but I've been super curious about this road, and that's what I was gonna say. I've been super curious about this little road here and haven't had the chance to explore it yet. So that is why we are down here, because I really wanted to see it. And the whole way we'll try and keep our eyes open for one of those big houses for Cookie Ninja as well. And Brian23 in here keeping the super chat ball rolling, saying, how is flight training so far? Did you get your PPL? You inspired me in kickstarting my passion in flight. So thank you so much. Getting your private pilot's license is not something that happens super quick like that. I'm expecting this to be at least a 2-year journey, which is heavily augmented by the fact that this area is known for high winds and rain, and it is Kagoshima's, I guess Kyushu's second busiest airport, the first being Fukuoka, the second being Kagoshima, which means getting flight time and having the actual time to do all the practicing and use the runway for touch and goes and landings and taking off and everything like that, it's few and far between. I've gotten plenty of ground school done. I've managed to get lots of study in. I'm getting a very solid feel for the controls and the flight principles and everything, but it does take time. And the other big thing is, I recently talked about this in a podcast, is that a lot of my attention is split because I'm doing all of the flight stuff in Japanese. 100% of it is being done in Japanese. The lessons, the study, the textbooks, the manuals for the aircraft, the tests. I recently took a test on aeronautical law in Japanese, and that was a ton of fun. And so a lot of my attention is being split between learning everything and learning the Japanese to go along with it, because all of that has to be done in kanji. And the sun is out. The sun, well, I guess we have revealed the sun by walking far enough to the side of the mountain. So we got our little excavator dudes here. I really like them. Really like them. They are adorable. And so I hope that answers the question. Thank you so much. I'm expecting it to take roughly 2 years to get my PPL, which means my private pilot's license. I'm not I'm not in a rush whatsoever. I would rather take my time, have a great journey. It's not a destination, definitely. Like, as soon as I get it, it's not like I'm going to be able to afford to fly that much anyway. So I might as well enjoy my time in training as much as possible and make the best of it. So thank you so much for asking. The Inky in here keeping that super chat ball rolling as well, saying, are you still having trouble with stream software? I personally know another walker own streaming app. I'd love to connect you with him if you would like. I appreciate that. I'm getting better. I'm like trying things basically, and right now the app that I'm using seems to be working. One of the biggest reasons that we ended up just love that look. One of the biggest reasons that we ended up taking a break from streams for a little while, outside of the fact that I had just gotten really busy with life and flight training and everything like that, was that I was getting really stressed about the quality of the streams, how the YouTube app would just fail in the middle. The other apps that I would using would load sometimes, wouldn't load other times. I was saying, you know, I'll start the stream at 5 and we weren't starting till like 5:45, and people are getting irritated and having to wait. And like, if you tell people you're going to start a stream at 5, a lot of them are going to be sitting there waiting for the stream to start at 5, and it just became really difficult to stream at the level of enjoyment that I wanted, because if I'm not enjoying the stream, you guys are gonna feel that, and you're not gonna enjoy the stream. It's not gonna be a fun exploratory stream. It's gonna be just me being, I have no clue where we're going, by the way. Oh, cool, art. And looks like we have an onsen here, a bath. And so, everyone greets with such big smiles here. I love that. And so I wanted to be able to reduce the stress in the streams, if you will. And so, interesting. Okay. So the bath is here. That's cool. I'll have to come back. I've been looking for a decent onsen in the area, so I may have found one now. Gonna have to come back and check that out. So the goal was to be able to stream frequently without stress. And for me, just being able to pick up the phone and do a stream for you guys, that is pretty much ideal. And the app that I'm using now, for a while I was using Streamlabs and it was hot garbage. The app I'm using now seems to be working. If it starts to fail me, I will let you know. But thank you so much. All right. And scrolling through. And Anthony Gamer UK saying, I have a lot of respect for Japan. I've been to Japan once before. Love your videos and keep up the good work. Anthony, thank you so much for that. Also, for you, random boat. There we are. If you've ever just wanted to see a random boat sitting on the grass, this is your day. Because that is exactly what we have here. The hull seems to be in half decent condition. Could you guys just let me use the boat for TOKYOLENS adventures? I also love how this boat has just like totally normal doors. It's just like, yeah, we're a door. There you go. It's a half decent looking boat. Norm's future boat. Oh wow, that's a nice house. I did not realize that. Look at this. Boom. There we are. Beautiful. Let's continue into these little back streets here as well. So Anthony Gamer UK, thank you so much for that. And Kalinka keeping that super chat poll rolling, saying good morning. Just got back from the school run. Our morning was kind of wet and cold and sucky though. Well, also, was that a teeny weeny excavator? Yes, it was. And I loved it so much. You know, I've noticed this a lot with the apartment buildings in this area. A lot of apartment buildings in this area advertise themselves with this. Net-free mansion. So mansion, this is a mansion in Japan. They call apartment buildings mansions. Don't ask me why. And so this is a net-free mansion where the internet is included in the price of your, which means chances are they're probably pretty affordable. Is this a path? Oh, that just goes to someone's house. I was so hoping that was a path. Let's take a look behind this apartment. It looks like there might be a path there, but I also am not gonna hold my breath on it. No, it's just an empty plot of land. I want the land. Don't even need to build a house there. Just set it up as a private little campsite. How cool would that be if we had our own private little campsite as well? Ah, there's just so much stuff that I want to do, guys. Just so much. All right. And scrolling through, want to make sure. Okay, Kalinka was the last one in there. Well, if you twist the definition a bit, I suppose with any residence with lots of living space counts as a mansion. There we go. Fair enough. And we have a Lawson here. I think I can go a little longer without any beverage or coffee though. And then as soon as I grab something, it means I have to have it in my hand the entire time, right? So I think we're gonna head down this way because it just feels like the adventure is down this way, doesn't it? There we go, that's a little bit less blown out. I enjoy that a little more. Great parking by the Prius. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, dang it, I missed the opportunity to make fun of someone's parking. Oh, look at that. Look at this space. If that doesn't get you to slam that like button and give it some love, what will? Look at that view. Come on guys, give that like button some love. Let's see if we can push it up to the next level. I don't even know what we're at. I have honestly kind of stopped keeping track. You think I should look? Let's take a peek. What are we at? We're at 7. That's 800. I think that we can push that to 800 in the next. Already, give the like button some love. That truck was super noisy. Oh, look at this too. Just look at the. This is just a shot to me, right here. And yeah, the guys from the Overlander company had reached out to me last year, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to borrow our Overlander and do Overlander camping in Japan?" And it looks really cool, but it also looks like more work than I'm interested in doing. If I'm gonna go camping, I like to have that tiny little camper van that I use, or I like to just have what do we got? Ooh, we got a bridge. We got a bridge. I like to either have that little tiny camper van that I use, or I like to just go camping in a tent. So I might still borrow the Overlander at some point, but look at this. Let's go wide a second. I don't know what it is about this little block right here. I just like it. How about you guys? Love this little spot. Good question. Okay, so there's a question in here saying, do those, I love the way it's worded as well. Do those poof ball looking trees grow that way naturally? Or is that some like Japanese topiary stuff? Did I even say that word right? These are not natural. They're natural to a certain degree, but they're also trimmed and maintained to look this way, and quite a bit of work goes into them. We've actually walked by quite a few gardeners on some of our streams and seen them working on spaces like this. So there we are. Okay, let's take a peek up here at this bridge. What we've got. All right. Oh, that is a tiny little footbridge. And it looks like we have a bit of a walking path here as well. Look at that, eh? And it looks like it's right along where we've been walking. There's, and it goes right up into the mountains. And Nick P, thanks so much for the question. We just covered that one maybe 10 minutes ago. So if you go back and rewatch the stream, I touched on all of that. Look at this. Nah. What do you guys like? The 0.5 or the 1? I kind of like them both. The wide camera or the normal camera, let me know. Angelita in here sending in a super chat and keeping that ball rolling. Angelita, thank you so much for that. Ooh, we zagged back to the river. Yes, yes we did. I love this space. All right, we'll go light on this one for a little bit. It kind of blows out the sun, which I feel is a little bit wasteful in such a beautiful space, but oh jeez, that's a person. I thought it was a monkey. I thought there was a monkey on the bridge. She had leaned back and her head looked out and I didn't know what it was, and 100% thought that it was a monkey. Okay. And there's a question in here saying, have you noticed anything of the Sakurajima eruption? We actually started our live stream talking about the Sakurajima eruption. Sakurajima should be visible just over there, but it's not. It's a little hazy today, so yeah, nice street light design. Look at this area though. Honestly, look at the beauty of this space. What a gorgeous morning view. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it up to you guys once again. Are we going to continue this walking path down along the river, or are we gonna break into some of these city streets down here? Hit the like button and give yourself a bit of a vote. Let me know, are we going to continue along our river walking path, or are we going to break into the city streets on the other side of the river? Drop your vote in the comments, and mods, help me tally it up. City's coming in early. The early votes are saying city. Oh, it's starting to balance out with river. City, city, city. Ohayou gozaimasu. All right. Let's make our way back this way. We seem to always be making our way back to the river anyway, so let's continue on towards the city. You can really hear the cicadas and whatnot out here as well. Listen to it, just the sound of Japan in the summer. I feel very fortunate, honestly. I got silent and didn't even realize it. I was just enjoying the view of this area, the plateaus in the background. What a gorgeous place. I can't believe this is my first opportunity to be able to come out this far and do this much exploration. It is fairly humid here right now and a little bit foggy, as you can see from the mountains. But the temperature is maintained around 26 to 27 degrees. We got the sun right here. Feeling very Beverly Hills Ninja. Gonna walk down this street right here. Look at this. I always thought that if I had the chance to move out to the countryside, that it would either be Shikoku or really loud cicadas that I can't compete with. They're so loud. What is this? I always thought that I would either end up moving out to Shikoku or out here to Kyushu. And that's exactly where we are. Out here in Kyushu. Mind you, I still need to find, or perhaps make, an excuse for me to live out in Shikoku. Like, we've got to live out in Shikoku for at least a while, right? Like, we haven't had the chance to do that yet. And I feel like it's something that we've got to do. Wow. Now, it's just, the sun's gotten so bright that it doesn't matter. Unless I point this camera up at the sky, it's going to be blown out. And nice little orange flowers. And I forgot to turn off I forgot to put my phone on silent is the word I was looking for. I forgot to put my phone on like focused silent mode. And so this entire time I had all these YouTube notifications and comments and whatnot popping up again and again and again. And I'm super worried that while I'm like trying to swipe out or change cameras, one is gonna pop up and suddenly I'm gonna exit out of the streaming app and end up on that. I always start by putting my phone on silent or manner mode or whatever you want to call it, and didn't do that today. I was like, oh, we gotta start this stream. But seriously, look, again, big beautiful space here. I would love to just grab a plot in the mountains and turning it into my own little camping site. Also, for those of you who are just joining the stream now, about 20 to 30 minutes ago in the stream, we did a pretty big announcement about some exciting stuff that's going to be kicking off next month. So if you want to be a part of it and you want to know early, this is the stream for you to go back and watch. Honestly, a nice little spot though. This reminds me of Crayon Shin-chan's house. If you've ever watched Crayon Shin-chan, you'll know exactly what I mean. It literally looks like the exact build of his house. If that doesn't give us some likes, I don't know what will. Guys, let's push in the next 2 minutes or so. I challenge you guys to push those likes up to 900. Give that like button some love. Actually, that's definitely nicer than Shin-chan's house. Look at that balcony up there. And it looks like we have another onsen over here. One of the nice thing is there are a ton of onsen here in the Kyushu area, like an absolute plethora of onsen all over the place. I just haven't had the chance to go out to them yet. There's apparently one that's really nice out here that gives you like your own private onsen room as well. And I really want to check that one out, but have not had the time. I'm loving these streets back here. Look at this. Look at that. Just love this space. Got some birds up there. Probably should have stopped at that Lawson, now that I'm coming to think about it, because while I am semi-okay without drink, I'm getting hungry. I think food of some sort might be in order, guys. So now we're on the hunt. Now we're on the hunt in these streets to find some form of food or sustenance. So let the hunt begin. Japan is so mountainous. Have you ever lived on a steep hill? I haven't, but phone is getting a little hot. I haven't lived on a steep hill, but I did have a good friend of mine who lived on a super steep hill for a long time. And it was kind of crazy to go up to his place. I always thought, like, if there's a landslide or an earthquake, like, this is it. Everybody living on this hill is just gonna slide right on off. So, all right. Let's head straight down this road for now, because I also want to get kind of into the main area as well and show a bit of a contrast between the more rural back streets that we're in and the main part of Kirishima. And the current time here is 6:31 in the morning. And we have yet another onsen here. A lot of them, actually. This just seems to be a little onsen zone. That's cool. And you got a lot of people coming out to them early in the morning as well. Huge love to hanging out with Otto for keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying time for another burger on me. Otto, thank you very much. Let's see if we can't find ourselves some food and go grab a bite. Also, this fall, I'm considering the idea, if we manage to get the streaming setup done, like get the proper streaming backpack, of doing an all-day stream in Tokyo. Now, there's a certain milestone that I want to hit here on Tokyo Lens Explore. Before we do that, it'll be kind of... But once we hit it, is this also like... Yeah. This is another onsen, and it looks like it's all like private. Very interesting. It's like each one is its own little private bath. Super nifty. Okay. And George is in here keeping that super chat ball rolling by saying Kia ora Norm from cold, wow, New Zealand, eh? I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Dundon? Dundon? I don't want to get it wrong. And just done Hirosaki University course studying Tsugaru culture. And since you like Tsugaru Shamisen, do you visit Tsugaru often? Actually, yeah, fairly often. Actually, it's been in a couple of the vlogs. We managed to come down and visit these guys. It has been in a couple of the vlogs where we've gone out to the Hirosaki Taikai, the Tsugaru Shamisen Taikai up in the Hirosaki area. So almost got run over. All right. Also, if I'm not mistaken, there should be Dunedin. Did I say it right this time? Dunedin. Hopefully I said that right. But yeah, I don't go up to the Tsugaru area as often as I used to. I used to go up there almost every single year for the Taikai. Since the pandemic hit, I haven't gone up there once. The Taikai tends to be in a really cramped and crowded space. And the Taikai is also, dare I say, kind of rigged. It's an actual thing. And for the longest time I thought, oh, I need to make a video on this. I need to make like a exposing Japan's rigged matches, because for a while, like the sumo matches were rigged to the point where sumos got busted and got in trouble, and then sumo was free for, I believe, the better part of a year. And not in a similar way, but not entirely dissimilar, the Taikai, the Tsugaru Shamisen competitions are also to a certain degree rigged, and it becomes this very, very demotivational thing for younger players, especially, who know that despite their skill level, they may not be able to win until they check off a certain number of boxes. And so I stopped going out to the competitions because the competitions stopped feeling like a real display or competition of skill and started to feel like this stressful, dark side of the culture that I wasn't enjoying as much. And so I figured separate myself from that and focus on the stuff that I really enjoy, which is creating the music myself and with Kiki. And so that's what we've done a lot more of. And Kalinka in here keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying, you said, oh no, I already forget how to say it. Done eating right. Yeah, you said done eating right. But Ari's steep hills. Grew up in Wellington, New Zealand. We lived in some places. I used to be afraid to drive around because the hills were steep and the roads were narrow. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of places here in Japan as well. Let's swing into the convenience store and maybe grab a small bite. Give me a second here, guys. And as I do this, because I don't want to like point the camera at the staff's face, I will be lowering the camera. So I'm not gonna like point it at my shoes the whole time, but let's head in and see if we can't find something that I can potentially eat with one hand. All right. Ooh, ice cream. But at the same time, I'm kind of keen to continue my fast. All right, I have an idea, guys. Let's grab the lineup. I abandoned the Lawson. We bailed because the app started telling me that I was getting an unstable connection and risk of dropping the stream. A lot of these convenience stores tend to have really intrusive Wi-Fi, and if you don't have your Wi-Fi completely turned off, they will just go ahead and connect. All right. Hopefully we have recovered a bit. Let's head down this way. I was gonna try and cross the road, but like being indoors shouldn't impact the signal too much, but the incredibly intrusive Konbini Wi-Fi can really boot you. And survival. There we go. I'm gonna head down this way into the actual city area. The sun is now clear up over the mountains. The day is upon us. I will find a vending machine along the way. I grab myself a bottle of water, and I will save the calories until the second half of the day. I'm trying to keep with a certain level of staying healthy. I've been fasting quite a bit recently, and it's been really good for the energy levels. And it's just a really good way for me to focus on not overeating, because I will sit down to edit a video and disappear into that for like 12 plus hours. And I'm one of those, I'm a snacker. I'm very, very much a snacker. And so if I disappear into an edit for 12, 15 hours straight, more often than not, I will look up from that edit and I will have kicked back, I don't know, let's say 8, 9 coffees and way more snacks than any person should probably be consuming in a given day. And when I'm back in Tokyo, I have vegetable shops not too far around the corner from my house. And so I try to stick with healthy snacks as often as possible. But when I'm out here, I'm like, oh, I'm away from Tokyo. It means I can take a break. And I usually intend on doing that like 1 or 2 days, but every now and then I'll accidentally allow myself to get a wee bit carried away. There are honestly a lot of open plots of land here. Like a lot of just big old open plots of land. Don't bark at me, doggos. No. No. The answer is no. I said no. No means no. But there are actually quite a few plots of land. While working with Dogen on the building of his house, which originally was going to be an entire documentary, but we got thrown for a bit of a loop at the very end when the plan changed up. And so it ended up being a documentary slash house tour. But depending on the area, you're not actually allowed to use the entire plot of land for your house. There are all these like really, really heavy restrictions. You can only use a certain percent of the land, and all edges need to be a certain like distance away. You're only allowed to go so high. The house is only allowed to have so many rooms. Anything above that counts as something else. There are a ton of building restrictions and codes that need to be followed when building a house, which led to, if you've seen Dogen's place, that is what led to Dogen's house looking like it does, is building around a lot of these building restrictions. His land is actually considerably bigger than that house is, but they were only allowed to build a house of that size on the land. So, and scrolling back to make sure I didn't miss anything, and there we go, Master, thank you so much. And I already forget how, hi guys, you can see my shadow, saying here's some remote coffee on me, cheers. Thank you for that, much appreciated. Like, honestly, I would say this plot of land isn't too far off from the size of the land that Dogen got. And he's able to use, I don't want to say 2/3. It's definitely more than 2/3, but so a small portion of the land. And sunflowers, and Lloyd in here. Thank you so much, Lloyd. Lloyd keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying get yourself a healthy snack. I 100% will. At least this one here is being used for a little rice field. So Lloyd, thank you very much for keeping that super chat ball rolling and for the healthy snack. I 100% will. Today is actually an editing day. Today is going to be one of those days where I sit in a room for hours on hours on hours and try to edit. I've got the exploration of this area video that I want to put out for you guys, as well as at least 2 more videos that I'm working on. And dare I say it, there may be another project in the works with Okazaki-san. If you guys remember Ayaka Okazaki, we I came across her when doing a tiny apartment video, and she's an architecture student. I like this little space. She's an architecture student and just added so much to the video that I thought, oh, we've got to bring her back for another one. So we did another video together. And then we've gotten together to collaborate on even more content. So looking forward to, love these. Looking forward to getting that one all put together for you guys. And Michael Yoshida in here. Thank you so much for the generous super chat saying, thank you for all your wonderful content. I used to visit my family in Kyushu once a year before the pandemic. I miss wandering around and exploring the hinterlands, but your streams help me feel less disconnected. Honestly, exactly that is the goal. So thank you so much for joining and being a part of it. Look at as we walk through the fields here. Oh, I love this. It's hard to believe that from the afternoon of today for the foreseeable future, this is going to be nothing but rain. Just rain. That's it. I have no clue where we're going. I was going to try and load up the weather forecast to show you, but the weather forecast doesn't seem to want to load. It's in a mood. So, but yes, Michael, thank you so much again for that generous super chat. Very much appreciated. I'm glad that I can help. These here, we're going to talk about these for a second. Let's go wide. So these are a form of Japanese government subsidized housing called danchi. And the oldest danchi in Japan were in Higashikurame in West Tokyo. Now, if you notice, these ones are numbered. We have 1, 2, and 3. Now, as far as danchi complex go, 3 buildings is a pretty small danchi complex. But these here were the standard form of housing for decades and decades and decades in Japan. They were meant to be tiny but affordable Japanese homes. And I had really wanted to show off Japan's first ever and oldest danchi before they tore it down. And unfortunately, I ended up getting pulled out of the country during exactly the time that I had planned to shoot and show off the danchi. And I never got to show them, and now they're gone. And they were kind of special too, because as Japan's first and oldest danchi, the Emperor of Japan had visited them, and they even like maintained the area that the Emperor had stood and given his speech. So, but yes, if you ever see these large apartment complexes, that's what they are. They are danchi. And Mogu is in here keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying no, get fried chicken. I might do that. I might get a healthy snack and fried chicken, and we have a nice house here. Here we go. Let's see where we are headed. And Joe Howe in here keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying always love the streams and looking forward to the upcoming stuff. Honestly, it is going to be a fun summer. There's just something about the sun, the energy, everything about summer that I love, turning summer into a nice fun event, something that we can all enjoy and look forward to. So this summer is going to be no different. We've got some exciting stuff coming. I'm not even that's all I'm gonna say about it. Honestly, we talked about it earlier on in the stream. It is in there. Also, 1 or 2 fairly big reveals going on in August over on the Patreon side of things that may eventually get revealed on the normal TOKYOLENS side of things, but it'll just take a little longer. So, hi guys. It's me in my shadow. I'm very lanky in this shadow. Ooh. All right, I think I'm all caught up in there. And this is actually one of the main roads. Let me try and cross without getting squished. It's actually one of the main roads in the city here. And Lloyd, and well then, you best have a beer with that. So there, I'll teach you. Thank you so much, Lloyd. Very much appreciated. If today's edit goes well, if everything gets, I will most certainly kick back with a healthy snack, some fried chicken, and a beer. I am working on this week's video for, oh, what's that, buddy? I'm working on this week's video for TOKYOLENS, and at the same time working on the requested video from our Patreon Discord. So again, if you just joined and you're part of the Patreon, there's going to be a brand new video dropping hopefully by the end of today over there. We have a bit of fun in this one. I had no intentions of making it, and then had a little time at the end of the day that turned into a lot of time, and we had a blast with it. So today is going to be sitting in, it's weird to believe with such beautiful blue skies, but this happens so often, that today is going to turn into like a rainy, disgusting mess of a day. But it is, that's exactly what's going to happen. This area out here, unfortunately, the weather changes so unbelievably quickly. I really want to grab a drink, but I feel like the very intrusive Konbini Wi-Fi will do everything that it can to kill our stream. So we will keep making our way forward, or will we? Yes, we will. We'll keep making our way forward until we come across a vending machine and get a bottle of water for now, so that the Konbini doesn't completely kill our stream. Is Norm a Disney princess? He seems to have a lot of bird friends. It's just that kind of day. If you guys haven't done so already, let's see if we cannot push the likes up to the next milestone. So please give that like button some love. I don't even know what we're at. Where are we at, guys? We've already crossed 1K. I have no idea what the next milestone is, so I don't know. Let's push it to 2K in the next minute. That is a very realistic milestone. And I can hear a bike coming up behind me because he has very squeaky tires. He's just zooming. But the weather in this area is actually quite, I don't want to say fascinating because it's like the worst meaning of fascinating, but the weather out in this area changes every 10 minutes. Honestly, you'll have blue skies like this 1 minute. You guys will see it in the next video that I recorded this area. I came out to do a day of exploration, and honestly, that day starts with sunshine. It's cloudy the next minute. It looks like it's gonna rain the next minute. Sunshine again. Looks like it's gonna rain. Sunshine again. And this is all like during a single talking scene where I'm standing talking to the camera. It'll go from looking like it's gonna piss down rain to suddenly being really sunny to being a little bit dark to having blue skies. Like, it is all over the place. Absolutely bonkers. Okay. The want for a vending machine is increasing exponentially. I just passed the vending machine, did I? No. Maybe I did. But if I just pass one, it also means there will be more. We keep pushing forward. So it's also become like a yearly tradition for me to go out and visit Yo-chan. And if you don't know who Yo-chan is, Yo-chan lives in an abandoned school in the mountains of Shikoku. And 2 years ago we found him, and last year we went out and did a follow-up video with him. This year, I'm hoping to go back and have a couple ideas for what we might do together. But we've pretty much already covered everything that I want to cover about him living in the school. So I want to come up with something a little bit different that'd still be as enjoyable. And then Yo-chan and I have been in talks that when the borders open, I would love to do an event, like an overnight event at Yo-chan's abandoned school out in Shikoku. And I think that would be absolutely amazing, just hanging out in the mountains of Shikoku doing this event, you know, hanging out all night, playing music, having food and drink. It'd be a great time. So these pathways are very well taken care of. All right. Keeping our eyes out for vending machines. There's a really good restaurant in this area. Like, an absolutely spectacular restaurant in this area that I go to, I'd say 3 to 4 times a week for lunch. And there's a vending machine over there, but it also doesn't look like it has water. I don't know what it has. It has maybe us getting hit by a car. Let's go find out. Bike. It has us getting hit by a bike. Yes, and I'm aware that I've already passed one. I know. And got ryokcha and coffee. Not in the mood for ryokcha, and I don't want anything that has sugar or calories right now. I'm gonna try and stay strong and keep going till we come across our next vending machine. That is our goal. I'm sure there will be more. I love how everybody is so determined to tell me how many vending machines I've passed. I am aware that we've passed them. We are moving forward. We are moving forward. Red up. What's red up? Update video on the recent Sakurajima volcano eruption. The update is actually this stream. This stream started by talking about that eruption. While that eruption was a little more visually spectacular, it's also not anything really special or rare. Sakurajima erupts pretty much every single day in one way or another. And that one just happened to be at a time that it was late enough that people could see the light from the lava coming out. And the lava went flying. And they originally had considered issuing an evacuation warning and then didn't. So it happens really, really frequently. So I feel like if I were to be giving update videos on Sakurajima erupting, I would just become the new Sakurajima channel. Yeah, Type B's in here saying, my grandma said red up when she meant to clean up. Interesting. Got a fishing store here. Look at this, right back into nature. Oh, I can already feel the spider webs. What in the world was that? Something just jumped Was it on camera? Okay, so I'll post it to my Instagram stories later on. But earlier I came across the most adorable of kittens last night on an evening walk through the area. It's this tiny little kitten. Farmer out here in the morning doing his thing, doing his farming thing. We have a ramen center here. Not entirely sure what ramen center is. Guessing it's a center for ramen. And okay, this is where we're gonna try and make our way back up to the river. Got all the students making their way to school on their bikes. I see a vending machine over there. We're gonna start at that vending machine. Hopefully it just has water bottles. Just want a bottle of water. That's it. And we're gonna Frogger it. This road gets so busy in the morning. Like honestly, this road is the absolute bane of my existence early morning when trying to get into the mountains or into school. Oh. Okay, you know what? We running it. There we go. Yay! There are bottles of normal water. Oh, and craft cola. No, don't do this to me. Why would you do that to me? It's too early in the morning for that, and I'm not gonna carry it around. Okay. I have a whole bunch of coins in my hand. Try not to drop them. There we go. What else have we got in here? We got green tea, we got mugi cha, we have iced tea, Pocari Sweat, Green Dakara, Lifeguard, Monster Energy, all kinds of coffee, melon cream soda, and my bottle of water, finally. It feels like such an accomplishment. And that's where we're going, but we're gonna try and not get squished by cars along the way. This road, honestly, in the morning, I think we're still a little whiles away, about an hour away from the rush hour on this road, but it can get backed up, super backed up. There we go. And across the road we are. And I'm just gonna scroll back, make sure I didn't miss anything while buying that water. It looks like we are good. There we go. Melon cream soda is bae. You are dating melon cream soda? Is that, have I transcribed that accurately? And tiny road that we don't want to get hit by cars, but we almost got hit by a car anyway. That's my song. Been working on it for 3.5 years. Hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna go platinum. And I need a space to have some water. And John Alden Davis with a very generous super chat in here. Thank you so much for that, John. John saying, your videos always lift my spirit. John, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you keeping the super chat ball rolling as well. And this upcoming week, so this past week, we stuck it simple. It's been raining a lot lately, and so I decided to check out inside of a Japanese shopping mall, and it was a huge shopping mall as well. So that's already up on the Tokyo Lens channel. But next week we're going to be doing some exploration of this area, and I was originally going to just do it as I just wanted to do a hike. I wanted to go out and do a hike, and then I realized, you know what, I have an entire day to myself and it's not raining. I'm going to make the absolute best of this, and we're going to get to know the area and do some exploration. And so that is exactly bad after eating. I had no idea that. Whew. Close. All right, let's see if we cannot find a spot to momentarily grab a drink of water. I gotta say, I do enjoy walking along this though. I also like the retro sign over here. Look at that. There we are. Oops. Those are my fingers in the shot. I'm trying to figure out if I want to go down this little road or if I don't want to go down this little road. Let's find out where we are. I feel like going down that road will literally just take us right back to the main street. And I got another car coming and don't want to get squished. Make your way over, bro. Yeah, smart aleck little smile on his face. He's like, this dude is gonna get squished. All right. There is nowhere to place this. What do we do, guys? Okay. I'm gonna get off the road here for a second. And because it's actually started to get really hot, we're gonna put the bag down there. How do we do this? Can I stack this here for a second? Whew. There we go. Finally, get some hydration. Oh. Cars coming by. Try not to get squished. There we go. Hydrated. And now maybe place the water bottle in the bag pocket. There we go. And we continue on. Let's turn this back around. There we go. I will tell you, it has quickly gone up to much closer to 30 degrees. And I feel like I'm in the way of all these cars. It was a nice little walking route early in the morning when there weren't cars coming through. Thankfully, Japan has a lot of really tiny cars, so it's not that big of an issue. But every now and then you get a big... I'm using a larger car this time while I'm down here, rather than the tiny little K car that I was using before. And it's manual and a ton of fun to drive. But when you get into these narrow roads, you kind of feel like you're the problem because you're in everyone's way. So that's fun all in its own. You look mildly toasted. I feel mildly toasted. These are also these little aparto here are also like kind of a form of danchi. It's like non-apartment style, more often than not, again, subsidized affordable housing. And Mia's saying, Norm, you need your hat. Yes, I do. I 100% need my hat, but I left it in Tokyo because it was just scheduled for rain this entire time, and I'm like, oh well, I'm not gonna get any nice weather anyway. So, but I was wise enough to layer up on sunscreen this morning, so no need to worry. I have hydration. I have all the sunscreen that I need. And just got back from 2 months in Kobe, and it was awesome. Thank you for the inspiration and fun content in Japan, and thank you very much. Also, it is Norumu. Thank you so much for asking, though. Super appreciate it. Norm, you should wear a hat in such a hot, sunny day. Yes, but also I don't want to. So that's a thing as well. The hat weirdly just makes me hotter. It makes me sweat more. I don't mind getting a bit of sun, and I can get in the shade every now and then. That's fine. And more often than not, I do wear a hat, but today I just wanted to enjoy the sun. We haven't had sun in so long that I just want, wow, this is so much busier than it was earlier. Look at this. All right. You are going to go. There we are. Zote milk. I see what you did there. Ha ha. I'm laughing. I haven't brought out Saucy Norm that much today, and I feel like, I should probably be bringing out Saucy Norm a little more. And May the Mediator's in here too. Hey May, how you doing? The rooster is still going as well. Jeez. I am really glad that I put on the sunscreen though. We are still looking at 7:14 in the morning, but as you can tell, it's gotten so bright out that you can barely even see what time it is. I want a train to come by. Feels like the for a train, but there's no train. So there's a question here that I kind of want to address, and it says, is it hard living in Japan? Is it affordable and has something surprised you? As for, is it hard living here? It comes down to you. That's 100%. Like if you're comfortable living where you are, but you're not reliant on the place that you're in, then Japan might be for you. But if you're trying to escape where you are, very, very reliant on like your usual location and the people around you, it might be a little more difficult. Obviously, it's probably a little more complicated than that, but that's a basic breakdown. I've always felt that Japan is very easy to live in. People are friendly. It's a very affordable place. Like for the longest time, people were like, oh, Japan is so expensive. And I've literally never, ever once thought that. I have never, ever thought, wow, Japan is an expensive country. If anything, I honestly believe that if you know what's going on and you speak a bit of Japanese, Japan is one of the most affordable countries in the world. Like even insurance on cars or everything. It's just, you wouldn't believe how cheap it is. I paid more in my last year of car insurance in Canada than, wow, thank you, Cicada. I paid more in my last year of car insurance in Canada than I paid in my first 4 years of car insurance here in Japan. So again, little things add up, and there are boundless affordable places to live, even within major cities like Tokyo. So honestly, it's very affordable, very easy to live. There's always going to be things that surprise you no matter where you go. I remember taking a road trip down to the States when I was, I think in my first year of university or something. And it was my first like fully independent road trip down to the US. Look at that. It was my first fully independent road trip down to the US. And being from Ontario, where, like, for example, things like alcohol need to be sold in... No! Is that the train? You bugger! Got you. Whew. Worth it. I want to strap up that helmet, bro. That's another thing I don't get about Japan, like little things like that. That's a weird thing to me. The number of Japanese people who will wear their helmet on their bike, but not strap it. So if you go flying off that bike, that helmet's just coming off. But yeah, for example, in Ontario, you can only buy things like alcohol in like registered alcohol shops. There's like the LCBO. And recently, I think you can get wine and whatnot in supermarkets, but we couldn't back then. So to be able to rock off to any roadside station or convenience store and see beer like for sale in the, I was like, wow, that's crazy. So in Japan, I think if you come in Japan, like it's so much easier to learn about Japan now than it was back when I first came here, because you guys have resources like this, like YouTube, that you can go to and get a peek and get varied opinions and views on what Japan is really like. Whereas I was using a lot of written literature when I first came out here to try and gauge what Japan was like. So hopefully that gives a slightly clearer answer. Yeah. And we got a nice little thing of flowers down here. In my shadow. Hi. Those are actually pretty nice flowers for road flowers. I like these road flowers. Cool. So that being said, I think we're gonna wrap it up right here, guys. Thank you so much for joining this stream. Patreon peeps, as usual, we're gonna go over to the secret Instagram for a little bit and stream and hang out together over there. Do a post-stream hangout. So if you're one of the Patreon guys and you want to come over to our secret Instagram and hang out, I will see you over there in a few minutes. Thank you so much, everybody. Remember, there was a fairly big announcement, I think, within the first hour of this stream. So if you caught the second half and you missed the announcement, definitely go back and watch that. To all of you who participated today, this has been an absolute blast. We will be continuing the live streams in just about a week, maybe a week and a half, when we get back to Tokyo. So thank you guys so much for being here. And you know, I'll talk to you again real soon. Oh, by the way, the Shamisen plushies have finally started shipping and people are getting them in hands. Those are limited edition and the supply is starting to dwindle. They are linked in the description box. Grab them while you can. See you soon, guys.